China's army in Hong Kong has released a video showing troops carrying out anti-riot exercises in what's being seen as a thinly veiled warning to pro-democracy protesters. The footage shows officers firing guns and rockets and using tanks and helicopters to contain protesters. It comes after months of anti-government protests over a controversial bill to extradite people to mainland China. Well, with me now is BBC China media analyst Kerry Allen. Kerry, welcome to you. What do you make of this video? Because we do see these broadcast or released every year at this time, don't we? But this has definitely a different tone to it than previous ones.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, on the 1st of August, it's the anniversary of the People's Liberation Army being founded. It's the 92nd year this year. And there will always be extensive propaganda, lots of support your local soldiers, etc., footage like this. But because of everything that's been going on in Hong Kong for the last 2 months now, lots of protests taking place, and mainland China has really built up a dialogue that what's been happening has been hooliganism, there's been violence, that this is almost a kind of a veiled threat to protesters in Hong Kong. And there has been some discussion about the People's Liberation Army amongst mainland social media users about when are they going to intervene, because all they're seeing, because of how mainland China has been building up this dialogue, is what they see as escalating unrest in the region.
So if it is a thinly veiled threat, or not even thinly veiled, an overt threat to protesters in Hong Kong, what have people been saying in Hong Kong today on social media? How have they been reacting? Do you feel that this is going to have an impact? Will people stop protesting because of this at all?
Well, people in Hong Kong are very angry about this video because basically this is only one side of the story. This is what mainland China is showing, giving the impression that China's going to go in guns blazing. But in mainland China, there's been tens of thousands of social media users talking about this. And bear in mind, they've been seeing lots of different footage on the army in general today. So this has really stood out. There's been more than 30 million social media users that have watched this video within mainland China. And a lot of the comments have been, well, what we've seen that's going on in Hong Kong, why are they not going in now? They should go in now. They need to bring safety back to Hong Kong.
And there have been increasing signs of possible Chinese intervention, hasn't there, over the past week or so?
Absolutely, yes. A lot of official papers, for example, Global Times, which is, that's the biggest national foreign affairs newspaper. It started increasingly putting on its front covers stories about what's going on in Hong Kong, and increased editorials basically saying that the army may need to intervene, and it's saying that, basically there are laws on what the Chinese army can do, and they can only really go in if it's deemed a crisis, like it literally risks to people's lives. We've not heard of any deaths directly linked to the protests yet, but yes, they're kind of watching and basically.
And it begs the question, I suppose, who would make that ultimate decision over whether China does intervene? Who makes that decision over whether it is deemed a crisis?
Well, mainland China makes the point, and has done throughout since June, since these protests became large scale, that Hong Kong is a region that belongs to China, and that's a phrase that I see keep on coming up again and again, that Hong Kong is China's Hong Kong.
OK, Kerry Allen, thank you very much for your analysis. I'm sure more to come on this in the coming days, and if there are more protests, I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again. Thank you.